and it is my pleasure to introduce my friend and our governor, Greg Abbott. That's all yours.
Thank you all very much. Give it up for Colonel Orr. Great job, great friend. Thank you so much for everything you're doing for the members of our military. Thank you for what you're doing for America. And I got to tell you something, it is great to be at an event of people who love the United States of America. I want to also recognize the person just being chastised moments before, and that is the person who really did get me involved in this process and has become a meaningful part of my life. And I want to thank Mike Porter for everything that you've done for this event tonight and what you do all the time. I want to thank our veterans. I'll be talking a little bit more about them in general, our veterans and current active duty members who join with us tonight. We wouldn't be America without them. And we thank them for everything they have done. Tonight also, we especially want to thank all the donors for this event. You know, the Colonel was talking earlier about what this event does. Doesn't provide drugs, doesn't provide medication, doesn't provide any other tangible benefit. But as he and I were talking earlier, what this does provide for the recipients of these trips that it pays for is far more valuable and has an equivalent effect on the emotions and the mindset of the soldiers that we deal with. So your generosity will make a huge difference in the life of a veteran or active service duty member. Thank you all very much for the difference you're going to make tonight. We have with us tonight a few elected officials I want to recognize. One is the Land Commissioner, Don Buckingham. The other is the Acting Comptroller for the state of Texas and an immediate past Senator for the state, Kelly Hancock. And we have 3 state representatives from this region. We're all in special session right now, so we're all working. And I'm going to talk about some bills here momentarily, but we're doing a lot for veterans and have done a lot for veterans. And these 3 members in particular are leaders in that regard. We've got Representative Cunningham, Matt Morgan, and Dennis Paul. You guys, please stand up. The real reason I'm here is because I've been able to see firsthand the value of what CMO does. Getting to see those veterans or active duty members and see what it means to them to be able to go on these trips, to talk to all the people there. And I want to double down on what the Colonel said moments ago. When I show up at Mike Porter's place, as he pointed out, there's Mike as well as some other people who are big dollar donors. There are other people who are the movers and shakers in politics. But as the Colonel rightfully pointed out, when I exit my car door, I go directly to the people we are there to honor and to visit with, and those are the veterans of the United States military who put their lives on the line for our country. What Colonel Orr told me tonight is what he told me last time I was at Porter's place. He told me what Mike Porter's told me. Those members of the military are, in a way, awed, they're impressed or perplexed that the governor of the state would bypass everybody else and go straight to them. Which tells me something that I try to explain to them. They don't understand how important they are to me and to everybody else in the United States of America. We fight political battles and we fight street battles or whatever the case may be. We would not be able to be engaged in politics in the United States of America if it weren't for them putting their lives on the line and fighting the battles on foreign territories to make sure we have the freedoms in the United States. They share some of the stories of what they've been through. Been through things that many of us would not be able to go through. Not just been through them and in them, but importantly, out of them. Dealing with people who have scars and wounds that may not be apparent to the eye, but wounds on the inside that are far more complex, far more challenging to deal with. Is far different than fixing a broken bone. To deal with the challenges that these men and women have been through is altogether different. The least that we can do as fellow Americans is stand by their side, show them support, give them strength. And in that time that we have these ranching events, while they enjoy going out on the hunts, and it is a time for reunion for them and reconnecting with their fellow soldiers as well as with civilians. It gives them a time to decompress, to recalibrate their minds and their emotions. You can almost see the healing right in front of your very own eyes. But importantly, as Colonel Orr was talking about, I would devote 30 minutes to an hour just sitting and talking solely to them, getting to know them. Just the sheer fact that they were having somebody to get to know them, whether the person is a governor or anybody else, to know them outside of who they are in the military, builds a relationship. And that building of a relationship builds a kinship and allows them to open up and remember who they are as a person. I'll remind them of something that they need, especially because of what they have to do, but also what we all need. We all need to know our sense of purpose, what we're doing and why we're doing it. They take a command, they take an order, and they execute that command and order. They do what they're told to do, and they do it extraordinarily well. But what does it mean? What it means when they hear people back here in the United States talk to them means all the difference in the entire world. America would not be America. We would not be the freest and strongest and most powerful country in the history of the world or at this moment in time if it weren't for these soldiers willing to stand up and do the things they are doing. It is a purpose that fulfills our critical mission of the United States. All of us have a different role to play. Some of you are involved in business. Some of you are involved in education. Others involved in government. We all have a role to play in these United States. These soldiers play a vital role without whom the rest of us would not have the freedom to do what we do. So give it up for the men and women who wear the uniform, who fight for us and on the receiving end of tonight's awards. It's funny because they all tell me that they really don't ask for anything. But one thing that you can easily perceive from them is they're talking. They shun any kind of moniker of being a hero. But what they do want, they don't say this, what they do want is just respect. Not condemnation, not criticism, not ridicule, not judgment. They want respect, appreciation for what they do and what they have done. So easy to give. It's harder to write a check than it is to give appreciation. We owe every member who serves our country the deepest appreciation that we have. And then the last thing that we talk about there is support. They need our support. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier about the mental challenges they are dealing with. These are things that need ongoing support, mentally, emotionally, connectedly with human beings. Some of the people who visited Mike Porter's place tell stories about having recently lost one of their friends to suicide. This is a fact that we all have to come to grips with. And when I say we all, I know probably everybody in this room understands that, but the fact of the matter is that most of the people outside of this room don't understand the challenges that our military are going through. The need for programs like CMO that decompress the challenges that can lead to a suicidal moment are transformational. What you're providing tonight and supporting these ongoing trips will save lives of some of our military members who are on the edge right now. CMO does all of that. And I'm proud to be up here and tell you tonight, the great state of Texas also does all of that. We honor and respect and admire and support the veterans and active duty members of the United States military every single day in the state of Texas. Texas is home to more veterans than any other state of the United States. Many of them had their first exposure here during their time of service. Some were born here. Others had no connection to Texas, but after their service, they came here because they understood the unique freedom and opportunity that exists in the state of Texas. That's one reason why, if you look at the veterans who've come here and chose to start a business here, veteran-owned businesses have tripled in size in just the past 3 years. There are more jobs created by veteran-owned businesses in Texas than any other state in the United States. And we're constantly looking for solutions to help our veterans, help with the challenges they face. We know that many of those veterans, as I was talking about, they deal with injuries that are completely unseen. Some struggle with depression, PTSD, opioid use disorder, a therapy that has shown great promise in treating those conditions is ibogaine. Several wounded warriors came to the Capitol during this past session to explain to legislators about the transformative role that ibogaine played in their lives. One had been addicted to opioids, took ibogaine and was no longer addicted. One was trapped in PTSD, took ibogaine and put it behind it. There's so many other promising stories like that, but the deal is this. Ibogaine was accessible in other countries, but not in the United States. We understood the potential of what this could do for our warriors in the United States, which is why this past session that just ended, Texas invested $50 million to study clinical trials and seek FDA approval to authorize ibogaine for the treatment of opioid use disorder and other mental health conditions by the members of our military. But there's so many other things, way too long for me to list. But I'm going to do 3 of them right now. Something, Colonel Orr, that I'm going to bet, I'll bet you anything that's auctioned off tonight. I'll double the price of whatever's paid. Say that? Because I can guarantee it because this, but before I do that, I want to find, who is this person who's going to match with $700,000? I missed that person. Is that person here? Is that him? All right. So I bet at none of these ceremonies in the past have you had a governor have an official bill signing ceremony of legislation? You got it tonight. So I'm going to sign 3 laws into effect that affect veterans in the great state of Texas, and have members of the legislature join me up here on the table tonight. As they're coming up here, I cannot tell you enough how every member of the Texas House and Texas Senate, how much they support our veterans. These 3 bills I'm going to sign, you know, if you look at politics today, all you see is division. And you see at least 2 parties criticizing, and then sometimes people not even of any party, they'll jump in and start criticizing themselves. It's hard to get people to come together. On each of these 3 bills, they passed unanimously, 100%. Every legislator in the entire Capitol said, yes, we support our veterans on these 3 bills. The first is Senate Bill 1818. Some jobs and some businesses require a license to be able to operate or to conduct that particular profession. Veterans moving to Texas with a license from another state, they should not be hindered in their ability to immediately go to work. They shouldn't get caught up in the red tape that it takes to get a license in Texas. So Senate Bill 1818, by immediately passed Senator Kelly Hancock, requires Texas licensing agencies to immediately issue a provisional license recognizing the out-of-state license of military service members, veterans, and spouses so they can immediately go to work. Senate Bill 1818 is now law of the great state of Texas. Next is Senate Bill 1814. Active duty members who are about to retire may not know about all of the programs and services that Texas provides for our veterans. We want to make sure they know about it. We want to make it easy for them to connect with those services and programs. And that's what Senate Bill 1814 does. It creates a database at the Texas Veterans Commission that provides that information to newly discharged service members to ensure they get the services they deserve from the state of Texas. Senate Bill 1814 is now law in the great state of Texas. And last is House Bill 114. What it does, it combines 3 programs in the state of Texas: the Mental Health Services for Veterans Program, the Veterans and Family Grant Program, and the Program to Prevent Veteran Suicides, all under the Texas Veterans Commission. The goal here is to consolidate it to make it far easier for veterans to be able to access, to again pull away the red tape and complication, to make it easier to ensure our veterans are going to get the help and support they need. House Bill 114 is the law of the great state of Texas. Listen, just know that Texas will forever honor the service and sacrifice of those who serve the United States of America. God bless them all. God bless you, and may God forever bless the great state of Texas.